Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 10th of December, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe we'll turn a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into the last stages of December. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first, video sharing was our 6am UK weather forecast. We'll also release a weekend forecast and the third and final winter 2024-25 seasonal model roundup. Then all of the long range ones together for the final time this season. And interesting watch. So check that one out, of course, ahead of winter forecast being released tomorrow. But more about that at the end of the video. Right, let's start our central temperature. The CT is now down to 7.1. That is 0.6 of a degree above 61 to 99 average, visual to yesterday to the 29th. That's possibly going to rise up to 7.2, or it might hold at 7.1. It's a very mild day out there today, so I think that'll finish up at 7.2. And overall, we have had a rather cooler autumn with September coming out at 0.5 of a degree above the 61 to 99 average. October at 0.9 of a degree above the 61 to 99 average. And now I've got November, going to be about half a degree above 61 to 99 average, I guess. Again, that is provisional, though, to the 29th. So overall, you know, just very, very slightly above the old and cold temperature average. Probably bang on average for the more modern average, and maybe ever so slightly below. I have to work out the numbers on that. But certainly a rather cooler season anyway, and quite a different autumn, I think, compared to what we've had in recent years. But of course, tomorrow it's the first day of meteorological winter, and we're starting off mild for that. These are the GFS upper temperature and precipitation ensembles. We're looking at Northampton today, local to me. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton, starting off above average at the moment. But the upper air temperature will be going below average for the early part of next week, then ticking back up again later next week for dropping again. Overall, though, looking rather cool, you'd have to say, through the first half of December there on that ensemble graph. Either average or a little bit below, a lot of the time with the upper air temperature, but not particularly cold, except perhaps the cold start opening up somewhere around the 8th through to the 10th or 11th of December. That might be a rather colder period, but overall, just a bit on the cool side. And looking a bit mixed as well. Precipitation-wise, for the next week, looks quite unsettled with outbreaks of rain, probably turning drier into the second week of December, though. Temperature anomalies on the 30th of November, 8%, but going to be a little bit above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 30th of November, 8%. Average or west average or central northern region, a little bit drier though, down in the south. Latest wind from map from Earth, nullschool.net shows up bring up a long effect southwesterly today. And that explains why it is so mild if you have not yet ventured out. If you're a late riser, then it is very mild out there today and will be tomorrow. But Monday will switch the wind round to the north and it will turn a bit colder. That sets us up very nicely for the chart data. So how the latest UK Met Euro run is looking big night on Tuesday. Under a ridge of high pressure then quite cold but mostly dry. Next weather system pushing through Tuesday, bringing rain and possibly some snow to the north on Tuesday into Wednesday. And then we're watching this big area of low pressure developing through the second half next week. That looks like it's going to turn us mild, wet and windy through the second half of next week. By next weekend, we're switching the wind again into a colder northwesterly, and that might go northerly as we go through the weekend. So very much a case of alternating air masses, cold and mild spells alternating with one another, and also alternating pressure with some higher pressure and some lower pressure at times as well. I can't, once again, showing that was system pushing eastwards Tuesday to Wednesday, then we're wet and windy through Thursday to Friday into a northwesterly, which is quite a cold wind direction by next weekend. The KMA, once more, looking unsettled through the course of the coming week with low pressure bringing wet and windy weather at times. Colder into next weekend with a northwesterly wind. KMA a bit different day, getting high pressure, or trying to get high pressure going over Scandinavia and bringing the wind around to more of an easterly as we go into the following week. So that will bring some cold air in from the east, possibly even a little bit of snow into more southern and eastern parts of the country. I don't think many of the other models are going for that, though, so KMA might be off on a bit of a tangent with that idea, but of course doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. GFS midnight run, again under a ridge of high pressure on Tuesday, went into Wednesday and Thursday, wet and windy weather sweeping in from off the Atlantic. We keep it wet and windy through to the end of the week and next weekend as well. Winds in from a colder northwesterly, switching to a northerly by next Sunday. So cold next weekend, could be some overnight frost and wintry showers into the north. Only briefly colder there, and then winds are backing around into more of a westerly again there. And then going to the extended range with high pressure south, low pressure north, flat as a pancake, so generally quite mild, but also unsettled. But GFS 6Z, much of a muchness for Tuesday with a lot of high pressure routing through the country. We're into unsettled weather though through the middle and latter stages of next week, eventually turning colder by next weekend as well, with winds switching into the north. A longer lasting colder spell with the GFS 6 taking us up to day 10. And notice trying to reach the Azores high to a Scandinavian high there through the early part of the following week. That's actually day 10, Tuesday the 10th of December. But GFS is trying to get a Scandinavian high going and keep wind in from a cold north-northeast. It doesn't come up because there's too much energy to our door, so just flatten off the ridge, and then we go back into a milder spell as we run up towards the middle part of the month. We're back into those southwesterlies again. Very changeable. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment. Let's know what you think about this and all of our videos, content, live streams, etc, etc. And thank you so much everyone for doing that. GM again with high pressure ridging through the country on Tuesday, then into the second half of next week, properly wet and windy with low pressure powering through, eventually bringing in a colder northerly as well by next weekend. Then high pressure takes over. That's quite a cold area of high pressure as well, so that will be bringing overnight frost and fog. Very intense high pressure there. I think the central pressure there is 1,050 millibars, so that really is a very intense area of high pressure that the gem is getting going through days 9 and 10. Quite cold with that too. Then the ECM has this ridge through the country on Tuesday, then increasingly unsettled through next week, properly wet and windy through the latter stages of next week, colder by next weekend, with winds switching into the north, and then high pressure, similar to the gem, taking over through days 9 and 10, and that is again quite a cold ridge, away from Scotland anyway, where we're bringing in a milder southwesterly, but for most of us that's quite a cold ridge with overnight frost and fog distinctly possible. Visible precipitation forecast based on that at ECM Run from Spectro.com. Again, we see showery rain pushing across the country over the next couple of days. Another band of rain and sleet and snow there through Tuesday, so particularly in the north, rain down in the south. Then bubble showery rain coming through, very wet at the end of next week for England and Wales there. Into those northerly winds, so dry and colder then, heading up towards day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 10th of December. 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure from the Atlantic into Northern Europe. Mostly dry, but could be quite cold with frost and fog. That includes the control and the operation run. 17, again, high pressure, more or less over top of the country. And 15 with high pressure, perhaps a bit more to the west-northwest. And that could bring in perhaps a cooler or colder northeasterly flow, but to be honest, most of the models there are looking anticyclonic, probably dry, cold and frosty at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It gets us to the 15th of December. 14 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure ridge again from the Atlantic. Mostly dry, but should be quite mild with winds in from the west. 11 have a ridge from the Atlantic into West Europe, mostly dry, but again, could be a bit of frost and fog, I suppose. 10 with high pressure, perhaps slightly more towards the north of Scotland, could bring in perhaps a bit of a colder easterly type flow. We have got 9 looking more unsettled, low pressure to the northeast and bringing in a westerly flow with wet weather, particularly in the north, and 7 with low pressure to the east, high pressure ridging out to the west, and that could bring down a colder northerly. Again, most of the options both seem to involve high pressure at both day 10 and day 14, so a lot of dry weather to come there, you would have thought. CFS V2 finally beats the 500 millibar high tolerance, it's bringing down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 30th of November to the 6th of December. The next week dominated by high pressure, but as we've seen, we are going to have some lower pressure at times. It won't be completely dry. There will be some wet and windy weather to come. Week 2, it's the 7th to the 13th of December. High pressure then is out in the Atlantic. That looks a bit colder. Winds could be coming in from the north or northeasterly direction. Week 3 will be the 14th to the 20th of December. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Winds coming in from a westerly direction. And then finally, week 4, rounding it all off. This is Christmas week, 21st December, 27th to the 27th of December. And look way down, you want a cold Chris. It's got high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and we will be bringing up wind from a mild southwest direction. That is a mild Christmas again there with CFS for week 4. We shall see. Okay, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get to subscribe to. Make sure that you're doing that. So tomorrow, got the big one coming up. It's all going to start with 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We're going to be premiering the winter 2024-25 forecast at 6 p.m. So, hold on. So sorry, everyone. So rather than doing a live stream at 6 p.m, we're going to have a premiere at 6 p.m. This week. And that, as I say, will be the winter 24-25 forecast. Because there's no live stream, probably going to do a 10 to 14 day video sometime through Sunday afternoon, I would have thought. Right, so that's the plan for tomorrow. Big day. All winter updates have been building up to tomorrow, basically. I've got a lot of work to do through the rest of today, sorting out the winter forecast. And then, as I say, tomorrow I've got the premiere at 6 p.m. So you get your glad rags ready. I shall see you on the red carpet tomorrow, just before 6 p.m, hopefully. And I'll see you then. For this one, though, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.